Today on The Balanced Voice, we have another episode that we recorded on location at the Texas Campus Crime Stoppers Conference that our team hosted here in Houston in February. We are thrilled to welcome Leon Clayborne, who's the Director of Program Strategy and Community Impact at none other than Matthew McConaughey's foundation called Just Keep Livin'. If you're new around here, you may have missed our episode in Season 2 with Matthew McConaughey himself, where we first talked about his foundation. We encourage you to go back and check out that conversation, which is episode 23. Since our conversation with McConaughey, we've established a fruitful partnership with the foundation in which our Safe School Institute provides safety education to the students involved in programming offered through the Just Keep Livin' Foundation. Leon was a speaker at this year's Texas Campus Crime Stoppers Conference, and he brought a lot of spunk, energy, and passion into his presentation. That energy trickled right on over into our conversation with him on The Balanced Voice. In today's episode, Leon talks about his experience as a dancer, Just Keep Livin's programming, which implements after-school fitness and wellness programs in 45 inner-city high schools, the struggle of today's youth, and so much more. This is The Balanced Voice.
It's so fun, Leon. You just spoke to, 150 quiet, tired kids, and you woke them up. There was some dancing in there.
Really? Did I miss that session?
We did a whole Zapp and Roger situation.
I couldn't get it. I'm embarrassed.
I was like,
I don't want to.
Oh, you did. Oh,
I love it. I was like, wait, I'm totally off. Why am I not able to do this?
Nah, it was fun. It was a good time. Good time.
So you woke them up.
Yeah, I did. A little bit. Tried to.
Nice.
I saw the time slot. I was like, okay, I have to come in with the force.
You got to come in with the
force. It was
force.
a good crowd. It was a good crowd.
The force seems strong in you.
It is. It's always strong. It has to be strong when you're dealing with the youth. It
Tell
can't
us
be passive.
You mentioned you have a hip hop background.
I do.
Tell us about it.
Okay. Well, I'm an 80s baby, born in 1981. It's about a spring chicken.
That's like the best.
Really?
Best
That's like
decade.
the year I graduated in 1990.
Hey.
I'm
No,
leaving now.
I know
I'm
that's
out.
not true.
Exit left.
I know
We're not
that's
talking
not
world
true.
history right now.
Yeah.
But, hip hop was something that I took on as the age of like 4 or 5. I have a vivid memory of my cousin Frederick teaching me how to pop. And I loved movies like Beach Street, Breaking, all that type of
Breaking,
stuff. Like
was that
literally,
not
I thought
the
I was
best
Turbo.
movie? Oh my God.
I really thought I was Turbo.
Can I just tell you
Minus
one
the
quick
Jerry
thing?
Curl.
3rd grade, me and this little girl in Framingham, Massachusetts, in the middle of nowhere. No, actually, it was cute too. We'd during recess, we would do the break-in moves.
Really?
Like that's all we
Like
did
that?
during not
It
like
was
that.
What movie? Which one is that?
I don't know.
remember that one.
You don't remember?
That's the chicken.
Leon, come on. It was like the star. I was
remember
yeah.
that
I'm not going to shame
You're
y'all
talking
right
about
here with
the
my
upright.
moves.
You're talking about
The other version of break-in. There you go. Okay, go ahead.
So, I always say hip hop dancing was my second language because it was like my tool. It was my passion. It was something that I really got good at. Did it professionally for years. Had the chance to dance with Jay-Z at the American Music Awards, do choreography for hip hop theater. So it's just something that really spoke to me as a child. So growing up from 5 years old all the way until now, I'm 43. I still dance. You go to my Instagram, I'm still on there doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's I live and breathe it. So it's not something that I need to monetize from in order to be justified on why I do it.
Yeah.
It's literally a passion for me. So I love it.
Gosh. It's
That
not
made you cool
something
for
I
the
need
space
to
then.
be. Wait, what did you? It's not something I need to monetize to what? What did you just say? To justify it being your passion?
Yeah.
That is like my life sentence right there.
Ooh,
That
is
was
that a
amazing.
t-shirt? Is that a t-shirt?
I don't need to monetize it in order to justify it for being my life passion.
Okay, I kind of feel that way about anti-trafficking.
I feel
I
that
don't
way
need to
about crime
monetize it.
stoppers.
I
That's
didn't need to
amazing.
make money from it to be able to make it
That's
the passion of
amazing.
my life.
Wow.
How did you get to Jay-Z and all? I mean, how does that?
Right
place at the
Are you
right
from
time?
LA though?
I'm from born and raised. Well, not LA proper.
Yep.
I say LA because it's
Yeah,
if you
that's
don't
like I
know
say
the
Boston,
area.
but it's really famous.
So I'm actually from an area called the Inland Empire. You familiar
Okay,
with it?
no.
So if you ever been to LA, you
I only know
drove to
Figueroa, my friend.
So yes, we're not in Figueroa.
I know.
40 miles east, just an area called Inland Empire. We call it the 909, because a lot of talent, C.J. Stroud. He came from the 909 from the Inland Empire, Rancho High. I grew up
CJ
right there.
Stroud's a Texas boy. Oh, he went to Tech, but he came
come
from.
on, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Come on,
Don't
his-
take. We can't
Come
steal
on now.
him.
You can't you got the foundation. Even Daniels from LSU's from out there. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So
okay.
we got some
We took
talent.
it.
Wow.
Okay.
But anyway, so I was born out there in the Inland Empire, and then I moved to LA in the early 2000s. I got with MSA agency to dance. Did a lot of auditioning. Choreographer hit me up. It's like, you want to dance to this? Because I was really big on freestyle dance. So freestyle dance is more so, speaking to the beat at the moment, right? With a few technique, right? That was kind of like my thing. So popping was my foundation. That was like my actual technique for hip hop dancing. But I can do African dance, tap, ballet, all that stuff. So I would incorporate it into my whole style. And so I was one of the guys who came out late and just started freestyling and doing my thing. And it was amazing. It was to see the behind the scenes of how award shows work and all the drama and all that. You know what I mean? Like it was really cool. So it was probably one of my first real big gigs. I was like, yeah, a few music videos, but theater.
Yeah.
Theater was where it was at for me because every night was different, and I was able to write a few of my own plays for hip hop theater. So it's like a whole movement.
Any comedy? Did you ever do any comedy?
Well, it's just I'm funny by nature. You know what I mean? I didn't write it like this
That's
is
what
gonna
I say
be
about
funny.
myself.
You
Yeah,
are.
funny
You
by
are
nature.
funny by nature.
No,
Yeah.
a lot of us are.
Yeah.
So
I know. I'm literally not.
I never wrote comedy.
No, I'm literally not.
No,
No, I know. I mean, I'm glad. I know.
You
I know.
are.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
Yes,
Keep
you
going.
are.
Keep
You
going.
are because you are because you think you're not.
Exactly,
Anyway,
which is funny.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
Subtle comedy, right?
Right.
But anyways, what was that?
You were funny. So no
Yeah.
comedy. You're
No
funny by
comedy.
nature.
No comedy.
Theater.
Funny by
So
nature.
theater.
Theater.
What I mean, you feed off the people in the room. I mean, changes
Every night was different. Every night was,
No
people drop lines, pick up,
butterflies.
always butterflies.
Always
If there's no
butterflies.
butterflies, then something's wrong. Like for me, at least, I feel
Oh,
like
that's
if you're still not
interesting.
nervous or, butterflies is something that you really enjoy. That means you're in the right.
That's
you're in the
actually
right-
such a good-
Like before today,
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this
Lesson.
presentation for like a week. I'm like, oh my god, what are the kids gonna answer? Are they gonna do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get up there and it's like,
Yeah. Now you
I'm
get
locked
into
in.
your groove.
brother, people respond or not. I'm gonna lock in and give you all I
No,
I
but
got.
you're good.
You know what I mean?
You're
And
good
you're
with
entertaining.
engaging no
That's my
matter
thing.
what.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
not boring.
Yeah.
I mean, how many presentations as a kid did you sit through, or
Right.
seminars, or things that people came in? You're just like, I mean, half the kids are asleep. Half the
Yeah.
kids are probably talking on their phone.
Yeah, Instagram.
yeah.
They're like,
They're really right.
like
next to
hashtag
boyfriend.
boring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hashtag wanna go home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said a bad word yesterday
Uh-oh.
in this session.
In the middle of the session.
uh-oh.
But some of them look back at me
Yeah.
and like, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I just kind of say what people are thinking.
There you
But
go.
how did that then led you to a path to McConaughey? How
Yes.
did that happen?
So, just rewind a little bit. So, on my journey to become this professional dancer, I locked into this program called Los Angeles Best, LA's Best.
Okay.
One of the biggest after-school providers, elementary level. And they hired me as a dance specialist. So dance specialist, you go in, specialist, right? You go in, you teach kids how to dance, basically provide rhythm. And my whole thing was always to teach kids how to tell a story with their body.
I love it.
Right?
love that.
So I literally would teach kids that did not know how to dance. We're doing choreography, we're doing windows, blocking, and we're winning competitions. You
So
know
like
what I mean?
interpretive dance, but hip hop version,
For
not
sure.
like ballet version.
No. I mean, we had some.
said
We
he
had
had it
we had
all.
these.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
had to look out in the skies,
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. But that was kind of like my intro to after school world. Then I obviously became like a site coordinator, program manager, regional manager, all that. So I went from elementary to high school. So with the high school journey, that was where we did a lot of experiential educational things. So we would teach kids how to kayak, rappel, high ropes course,
It's
things like. So it's more like hands-on, pitch a tent, let's go camping with nothing. How we gonna survive? You know what I mean? So it's more of that. Then one of my mentors, who I was, Stephen Minnick, shout out to Stephen Minnick. He's the bond. That's my guy right there. He's literally like
Stephen
the man.
Minnick?
Stephen Minnick. He works
out
for,
to Stephen.
he works for a company called Upactive, and they provide a software, and it's a whole matrix situation.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he introduced me to
Like the
Shannon-
Matrix, the movie
Literally.
situation?
Yeah.
Matrix. It's a lot of like analytics and things
Yeah.
like that they do for programs. But he introduced me to my now executive director Shannon Rotenberg. Shout out to her because she's been with
yeah,
Matthew
she's amazing.
since the inception when it was just an idea and he had his journals with thoughts about this program.
Yeah.
And we had one conversation, and 8.5 years later, here I am.
Wow.
Still rocking and rolling. We had. I want to say we had like 15 or 16 programs. Now we're at 46, 45, 19 cities.
When you say programs inside different schools,
Yeah, actual high
programs
schools.
about
in
that.
Actual high
46
schools.
different high schools that you have a program inside. Your
correct,
program inside.
correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so our program is an after-school program that's in high schools, Title I high schools, and we meet twice a week for 2 hours a session. We focus on nutrition, wellness, community service, and health, right? Gratitude, and it's kind of one of those programs where it's open to everyone on the campus. There's no age. You could be a sophomore, freshman, whatever. You could be an F student, A student. Like, doesn't matter. We want you to come and get these life skills because guess what? Not everyone's going to go to college. Not everyone's going to go to a trade school. Not everyone's going to be who they actually think they're going to be down the future. But what we're going to do is help you prevent so we don't have to cure later, right? In regards of like food choices, understanding what gratitude is, wellness, mental health, new experiences. And that's what it's about for us. The new experience, the gratitude, those are probably like my biggest thing because
the new experiences and gratitude are your favorite.
Oh, hands down, for sure.
I loved in the video you showed today, just seeing the kids talk about the impact that this program has on their lives. It's very moving. And it kind of struck out that these kids all, are Title I schools indicates that they're coming from an area of need, right?
Yep.
And a lot of these kids have hopes and dreams and aspirations, but no one to foster it. Not out of the fault of a parent. Some of these parents are immigrant parents, like my own parents.
Working 2 jobs.
They're working 2 jobs, or they're struggling to make ends meet, or they're
There's some parents that just don't give a
single-parent
shit too.
homes.
Let's not forget that.
And there's that too. There's that too. But the child they find themselves in the same situation. I have hopes, I have dreams.
Yep.
And no one's really opening a door for me. And I love that you come in and you say, we're going to open the door. And even if that's to take you to a baseball game or take you fishing or kayaking, as you said, the hope that it almost moves you to tears because it's
it
not
opens up your
simple.
possibilities,
it's
right?
Not a
it's just
simple gesture.
Well,
I know it takes a lot for
been
you.
asked the question of what are you grateful for?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Because everyone's like, what do you want to be and grow? But it's like, no, what are you grateful for right now in the present?
Yeah.
We're so microwave, especially now. Everything's microwave. I want it now. I want it now. I want it now. I want it now. So it's like when you're able to slow down and understand, like, oh, I'm actually doing a journal reflection right here. Like, it's not cheesy or
And
corny.
I love,
I love that you just said everyone's so microwave.
They want things quick.
Like
boom,
instant
boom, boom.
gratification.
Just like
It's
instant
called
gratification.
microwave.
And it's like,
Yeah.
that's
talk
not where
about
it's at.
that gratitude. You talked about challenge by choice.
So always say challenge by choice because you never want no one to feel super uncomfortable, right, in front of people, right? So my thing when I say challenge by choice is like, listen, I'm going to push you. I'm going to ask you what your gratitude is. If you're not ready to share it now, I'm going to come back to you. And if you're still not ready, I'm going to come back to you but I'm not going to pressure. I'm not going to be like, give me your gratitude.
Yeah,
Like,
until you trust me or we build
you know
a
what I
rapport
mean?
enough to where you
Exactly,
feel comfortable.
because in high school, and that's the thing about high school kids, they have to trust you and really have to feel your energy because you can have a great program. If you have that staff member there that you know is there just for the check or they're just going through the motions, the kids will be like, don't even, I'm just a number to them. They don't care. They don't even know my name.
Can I key in
know
on
what I
something
mean?
that and connect to yesterday?
Yes.
If you had a stalker, have you ever had a stalker? I've had a stalker.
Yeah.
Did you trust your stalker?
Did I trust my stalker?
Did you trust your stalker?
I trusted that my stalker would carry out what he was threatening to do if he had the choice.
Okay.
The chance.
Guess what? When parents become social media stalkers, rather than building a trust relationship, do you think our kids trust us?
I'm not fully following your question. All I know is
Because
say
what
it
he
again.
just focused on was the building of trust. You have to build trust with kids inside these schools so that they trust that they can share their gratitudes with you, trust that they can share things that are going in their life. You're going to open up it's a trust-based relationship, right?
So we were talking about should parents monitor their kids' social media and to what extent, or online activity, digital engagement.
Dip it into that little area now.
Yeah, you have you're a girl dad of 3 kids,
Right.
2 teens.
And if you're a parent that is only stalking social media,
I think
stalking
we're
them
taking an
without a
extreme to it, though. I think this is an extreme.
but
extreme
without
example.
relationship and trust and conversation,
It's got to be all of it.
it's got to be
Yeah,
all
has
of
to
it.
be
It's
the whole
got to
thing.
be
Otherwise
all
it
of
breaks
it.
down.
Yes, no,
Yes.
it has to
That's
be
true.
all of it.
Just what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the programs like this are going to sometimes with some children going to be build better trust-based relationships than their own parent
than their own
has.
families are.
And we see a lot of that. And that's why I was explaining the whole piece about the safety after school.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these kids, they can go do whatever, like go get in trouble. It's the prime time
And we
for
know
that.
statistically
You know what I
they
mean?
will.
Like literally, it
They
skyrockets
statistically
between that.
will.
time.
Yes,
It's
for
the
sure.
pipeline
They have
to
nothing
what?
to do.
Everything.
Yep.
So it's like if you have that again, that teacher, those resources, those new experiences, stuff you have something forward to looking towards. Like you're gonna have that accountability piece where you're like, you know what? Now I'm not going with James and Leon and them. They're going to be doing too much. I'm gonna go talk to Shannon because I know I'm gonna be going on this camping trip later this week, and my attendance needs to be on point. So I'm gonna come back because I'm not gonna do that. I have something that I'm actually looking forward to.
You make good choices.
Because that idle time.
Yeah.
Idle time, you're just bored and doing,
But you're delivering hope. You know that,
I
right?
am.
Because by not, you can focus on grades,
Yeah.
you can focus on activities, and you can focus on wellness and health. But if you're not focused on gratitude, gratitude builds hope.
It does.
I am thankful for these things, but I am hopeful to be able to do these other things too.
And maybe they don't think about the fact that they actually have a lot to be thankful for,
Despite their circumstances.
Their circumstances.
Correct.
Yep. And that's how we feel with community service.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these students,
Yeah,
they've
I
never
love
done
that you
community
integrate
service
that.
because it's like a lot of these kids feel like sometimes either they're on the receiving end of the community service, but never been able to actually give back.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're even just simply making so sometimes we'll do like gratitude cards for, homeless shelters or, the elderly homes or whatnot. So like just that act, right, just skyrockets that serotonin. You're just like,
It's amazing.
Well, like
making an impact.
when you go and serve the
what I mean?
elderly, look, gratitude, you're going to kill me. With gratitude, you go to serve the elderly, you're like, I am grateful I can wipe my own ass right now. Because some of the elderly cannot wipe their own. I mean, they have to depend on people.
Yeah.
And so there are things to be grateful for.
Yeah, whether big or small.
But they're big or small.
Yeah.
I love it.
So when these kids come to you, and when you said you're 46, so it's not, we want it to be everywhere, but you're a small team. How many people are on your staff?
Well, at each program, there's usually 2 high school teachers or someone who works. So how we work our program is we have, whether you're a teacher, it has to be someone that works on that campus to run our program. So we're not hiring a whole bunch of Leons to come on your program, which might be a cool thing, but our whole thing is like building that rapport between the teacher and the students in their community, right? So like be able to see your teacher in a new light, be able to see that student shine. So we try to stick to that motto, and I would say 98% of our programs are teacher-led.
So you partner with a teacher in a Title I school, and they become your ambassador.
Exactly. So the math teacher or the coach or the proctor.
And then they
do
facilitate the activity?
So we have our curriculum, and then, I do a whole email blast each month with all these resources. Like, we give them more than enough resources for them to do these programs. You know what I mean?
But they're doing it on their own time?
Well, they have to pick 2 days after school. I mean, they get stipend, like we pay them.
Oh, you pay the teacher
for sure. We have, there has to be some incentive there, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
no, totally.
You already had a
They're already paying
But
for their
meeting
own
you
supplies.
is incentive
You know
enough.
what I mean?
Meeting you is incentive enough.
Not for everybody. Sometimes they need that gas money
They're
too.
like,
You
that's
got
true.
the passion. You gotta have the passion. Gotta have the passion.
But they need
It's
to
all
get
about
paid.
money.
Let's just be
Everybody
real.
needs to be paid.
Yeah.
For
If you're
value
doing a
work.
service, especially like
Of
working
course.
with the youth,
Yeah.
you need to be paid.
No, for
And
sure.
then some.
And you need therapy and other
Teachers,
things.
No, it's a lot of
people in education need to be paid like sports people.
No,
in
for
my opinion.
sure.
In
So
my
let me
opinion.
ask, do these kids get to come together once a year? Is there
Like
an
other
annual
kids meet each
like
other?
all the
Well, like I spoke on the DC trip that we just started last year.
that was for Uvalde? Was that
That
the
was
aftermath
we
of
have Uvalde come, but
Okay.
it was with the whole Green Lights Grant Initiative. So we had the kids come from all over. So we had 22, 24 kids. So it was only 2 from DC, 2 from Nashville, 2 from LA. So they were able to meet all these different students from
That's
California,
so
and they're
great.
like. So the common thread is to just keep living, right? Although it may look different in New Orleans, and here you still got the curriculum and the foundation of the gratitude, the wellness, nutrition, fitness, all that good stuff, right? But then you're like, you're actually just like me, but you're in California. So they build bond, they start following each other. They all got Instagram, you know what I mean? So they connect.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is trying to get more students to be able to travel outside. But what we do regionally each year, we do a field day. So the field day, so for instance,
For that one campus, for a campus.
well, for
region.
multiple campuses.
Oh,
So for
good.
LA, we
Region,
have 10 schools, right? So all 10 schools will meet, and we'll do like a day of activity where we get speakers, different rotations. We'll have like the Galaxy come out, the Rams or whatever.
yeah.
It's just a day of just like fun in the sun, right? Doing big gratitude circles. So we try to do those if we have 2 or more programs in that region, then they'll come together. And then obviously any of the community service piece or any field trip they can partner on, we always encourage that. Because that's where it's at. A lot of these kids don't even get out of their neighborhood.
I know.
Yeah.
So when they meet their rival school who they hate
So
for
cool.
whatever
Yeah,
reason, right?
They learn to
Then
build
they meet,
bonds
they're
in
like, oh
common.
my God,
I
you're
like
actually really
it.
cool.
Yeah.
So that's always fun
I
to
love
see
it.
for sure. Definitely.
Now, how do y'all do, so your funding? Do the McConaughey's completely fund this? Do you fundraise? Do you? sorry.
No. It's we have a big annual fundraiser that we do
Good.
in April in Austin. We raise a lot of capital there, but the big thing is we have a lot of partnerships. We do try to get grants. We had a Target grant back in the day. We had funding from Los Angeles Dodgers Foundation, the Rangers, a lot of family foundations, some anonymous donation. You know what I mean? So
Good. So you do.
Funding
So
is
it's
always-
sustainable because
it's
other people are contributing.
Exactly.
Yes,
So it's not
yes.
just like Matthew's like, here, I'm cutting a check, run the program.
Yeah.
No, that's not effective.
Yeah.
Like the mission of this, because it actually works, and people see that it works, it's a machine of its own. Now, does he have touch points? And he's like, yeah, let's do this.
Of course.
Yeah, and people.
If he did it, then it wouldn't be the real thing that it is.
But I think the good
so
thing
great.
about it, having having him have started this, is people can read about him, read his books, understand his ethics, his morals, what he stands for, and then realize this is an organization that I can contribute or get involved with because of the morals of the head.
Exactly.
The guy that started.
Yeah, literally. Like,
He is
and
a
I just want a
fabulous,
t-shirt. Can I have a
fascinating
t-shirt?
person.
yeah. Okay.
I want a t-shirt like
You want this?
one like that.
The mechanic? Oh, this is a one of one. That's one.
Oh,
no,
is it a one of one?
No,
Okay,
no,
fine, give me
we
the-
have them on our site, but I could hook you guys up. I can see what I can do.
That's so cool. Like,
Oh, you heard him, man. We gotta get them a shirt.
Yes, please.
Hi, Matt. We need drip. I heard it's called drip. Thank you very
Are
much.
they
Am I
still using
relevant
that?
these
Are they
days?
still using
We don't know what
They
year
change it
that's
so-
from. We don't know
change
what
it
year
so
that's
often.
from.
I don't know what year. Is that? Is it still
Drip.
relevant?
Good, there
See,
we go.
I am so relevant with that generation. Yes.
So let me ask you, you're a girl dad. We were talking about that a little while ago. Sorry, I just hit your phone. Do you ever are you where are you learning about today's youth? Like, are you learning about it from the kids you see at the foundation through the Just Keep Living? Are you learning about it from your kids? Like, because you're in the business.
Yes, I am in the business.
You know,
and I try to get in their business.
Yes.
Honestly, I have nieces and nephews that I've seen grow up through social media and all this stuff, and I just really try to, check in on them, ask them questions, kind of see their mannerism. Obviously, I'm very techie, so I'm on these new apps. I know the new apps that go out, and the kids put me on game on a lot of stuff. I'm like, hey, what's that? I really want to know, but I really want to know, like, what do you use that
And then
for?
he goes to hides with his daughter's phone.
Right.
You're like,
Like, hey, all right, let me put this mask in on there. But I learned a lot from the students, honestly, and it's not that I'm out here trying to get secret information from them, but they share it with me.
It's
They trust,
important to know.
and it's important to know because I want to be at a level to where I know, not that I need to know every single intricate detail of every, you know what I mean? But I need to know what's going on. Because I can't just be the phone parent who's just like, oh, well, there's just this and that. But there's a lot more to the layers of that. You know what I mean?
We always talk
so
about
many layers, too many layers.
We're kids of the 80s-ish.
Ish.
whatever.
70s. My primary years were the
2000s,
80s.
baby. I'm in the
but
2000s.
let's
You
just do
date
that.
me like that.
Yeah. But
80-ish.
like, it's fair to say these kids are not being, and I always talk about it, they're not being raised in a world that's anything similar to the world we were raised in.
Don't
right?
even go outside like us.
Not at all. Not at all.
Seriously.
No, yes.
Street lights aren't even a thing
but
anymore.
also,
It's
it's
not.
not even, in some places, it's not safe for them to go
Well,
out.
that's
Like,
true.
I used to ride my bike all over my parents say, just come home for dinner.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let my kids do that now.
Yeah.
So, like, how much do you find like that online space technology is impacting today's youth?
It's impact, man.
And
listen.
across the spectrum, because you're seeing from the lifestyle of, the LA rich and famous to the kids in
Every
Title I
socioeconomic
school.
level,
Yes,
every
you're seeing
culture, every
everything.
gender, every...
There's like everything, right? There's the pros and the cons, and I think there's a lot more cons with it. That's at least more amplified.
Yeah.
Right? There's obviously the cyberbullying piece, which you guys covered very well yesterday. And it's sad. Like, I hurt for this generation. Like, I share a sentiment with them because, like, growing up without having social media, like, you were literally like an individual. Like, there was no real influence, right? I mean, there was
a whole lot of
influence.
groupthink.
Like, there was influence right in front of you.
Click.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh, I'm looking at this. I'm doing
Yeah.
this because they're doing that over there or here, or you just have more access to information, right? Or you have to really go read and get that microchip card and find where that book was at.
remember.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
All that type of stuff. But I think it's overload. It's a lot. I think generations not really using their brain the way they could. Obviously, creatively, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome things that people have created. But we relied on technology so much now.
Wait, I actually am curious about that. Is technology hurting artistic expression and creativity in music, especially? Because that's been a big debate.
The thing that it does in regards to music, it gives everyone access, right? Which is a plus, but then it's a minus because now everybody and their mom thinks they're the next.
Yeah.
And not to knock anybody's
Are you
dream.
telling me I'm not Taylor
right.
Swift? Right.
Yeah.
Hey, whoever wants to be the next Taylor Swift, make it happen. But I think, and there's a lot of integrity that comes with creating art where you're like, listen, like, I was actually at the club doing all these battles, getting my skills up versus watching these YouTube
Were
videos.
you in
and
a
learning how to
dance
rap.
battle?
You know what I mean?
Wait,
Like
yeah,
you went
yeah,
through the
yeah.
gauntlet.
I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Were you
yeah.
were you in a real dance battle at one point in your life?
Of course.
Well, yeah, that's
I
what.
still,
That's what he was. You know what
I will
poppin'
battle
is? Do you know what
anybody
poppin'
right
is?
No,
now.
I don't know it. No,
Can you
nobody
please explain?
asked
I'll
me.
battle anybody right
Wait.
now.
And I want to be
I
there.
wanna
Like
see
I'm gonna be
it.
like,
Yeah, I'm gonna be there too. I want to see it.
It's a real
Can you
thing.
please tell her what popping is?
I
first?
didn't even
What
catch
he
that
did.
we.
Okay,
Pop,
so
pop.
Okay, so you ever heard of pop locking?
No.
It's not a thing. So it's two different disciplines within hip hop
Okay.
culture, right? So popping is this. It's like the act, like popcorn.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
ever watch
Okay.
pop?
You've
seen
you ever
it.
seen
Yes,
popcorn?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
So it's like the act of
Yeah, yeah.
popping.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Then there's waving, where it's like ocean.
That's what I used to
That's
do
like
in
old
third
school.
grade. That's what I
Ocean,
used to do breaking stuff.
right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then there's
I
the
was
Bay
really
Area
good at
thing.
it.
Then there's like strutting, which is like more like.
Yes.
Then there's cartooning, where you're like, you know, it's just
Yeah,
too
I
much.
love
it's
it.
too
All
much.
kinds of genres
There's like
inside.
crump. There's everything.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you used to be a
But I
Worse.
didn't get. And I didn't understand. I didn't understand that he was saying like a dance battle. Like that's
Yeah,
so fun
like
and
breaking,
so cool.
Like where the
Well, that's the thing. It's like with
Is there
anything, right?
video
There's a
of that
culture.
anywhere? I
There's a
wanna
culture
watch
within the
videos.
culture. So,
No, I love
like with
it.
anything, if you're on the outside looking
love
in,
it.
you don't know all the nuances of
I'm just
that.
saying
love
our
it.
cool factor went up a little bit. You know, I have two boys, right?
Yeah.
And so like I'm gonna make them watch this episode because I'd be like, look, dude, I met somebody that was like,
No,
used to
the
do
coolest.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
it's
got
all
you.
about.
I'll send
you
you
know
some
what?
footage. I'll
I'm
send you some
so
footage.
happy, and I was thinking about this today. Like I actually, my heart breaks for today's kids.
Mm.
It really does,
too.
and I used to say especially girls, and I mean both because they're sexualized, they are targeted,
Yep.
they are attacked. They don't understand that they've become a commodity.
Mhm.
You know, they're a product, and they don't see it.
Mm.
And I feel like there's not enough adults who are stepping in with solutions. There's a lot of people saying it's bad, stop, but there's not. And when I see somebody like you or Matthew or people with a voice and like, I mean, this is so
Doing
silly,
something
but
about it. It's amazing.
coolness,
Yeah.
taking your time to reach them, it's really, really beautiful because we can do it all day. Jen is cool, I'm not cool, whatever. But I mean, it's not the same impact as having you guys do it. And it's very special.
You know why
And I
I'm
hope you
saddened
never stop.
for this generation? I'll be vulnerable and lay on the line. At one point, when my son went into high school, my youngest, he was like, "Dude, you were like missing in my middle school years."
Mm.
He said that to you?
Yeah, absolutely. And we as a family were going through some stuff with businesses and whatever, and just transitions. And I deem myself a damn decent parent. I'm not saying I'm the best parent, but when I figure like we have a lot to be grateful for. I have tried to be present as much, but when I have a child that's like, you weren't present really in those years. So now think that and now think those other situations where there's a lot of parents that are unable to be present, whether it's mentally, physically, financially, all of that. We need to act like a village. We need people like
you always say this.
to
Yes,
be
I love
a
it.
part of the village,
Yeah.
to be a champion outside of the family nucleus for our children so they have somebody they trust, because sometimes they can trust their family and sometimes they cannot. And so we have to have those of you like Matthew and yourself in these schools being their champion and somebody they can trust.
You have to. You have
It's
to.
unbelievable. And helping them understand what they can be grateful for so they don't go through this life seeing how dark it is, all the going on,
Yeah.
feel like they have nothing to be grateful for, and then it just goes down.
And that's the key. Like once kids understand like empathy and gratitude, I think you have no choice but to change your characteristic or at least understand like what that foundational can be. Because life is hard, man. Life is hard. Life is really, really hard. And social media amplifies that, right? The whole microwave thing I was talking about. If you see someone having fun or getting the success, you're like, wait, I'm more talented. I want that too. And then it becomes this conflicted thing. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm not good enough. And it's like self-doubt. But there's so much positive and love out there if, one, us as adults don't become enablers of behavior, right? And two, being transparent with our kids. Not to say that, oh, we got to tell the kids everything that we experience in our life, but we got to learn how to apologize too.
Yeah.
We have to learn how to apologize.
true.
And explain
We
that we're
have
not
to.
perfect.
And explain that we're
we
not
have
perfect.
gone through some
That's the thing. Because the youth want it raw, real and raw. And if we don't give it to them, you're going to always grow up with this little curtain in front, and you're going to have a weird family dynamic at Thanksgiving, and it's just going to be that. You know what I'm saying? So.
Leon, you guys are so great. Leon Clayborne, Just Keep Living Foundation. For people who want to try to get you all in their schools form a partnership with a teacher, create a liaison, help get funding for their schools? What do they do? Where do they go?
It's a loaded question.
But you have 10 in California. Let's talk about where you are right now.
Yes, so we're California.
10 schools.
10 schools, well, 11 because we have one in San Diego.
Okay.
So 10 in LA proper. We have 2 in Houston,
Okay.
1 in Longview, 1 in Uvalde, 4 in...
Longview, Texas?
Correct. This is
Okay.
all Texas, yes. And then we have 4 in Dallas, 4 in Austin, 2 in Chicago, 4 in Tennessee, 1 in Charlotte, 2 in Cleveland, 2 in New York. Am I missing somebody?
So if you hear your state is
in
not
Georgia.
represented,
Then we're in
you need to
Georgia.
get your state
And all high
represented.
school level.
All high school, only
Okay.
high school.
Okay.
That's it. So how do you get a Just Keep Living program to come? It's $1 million question. Because a lot of how we've done it has been organic. Like I was kind of telling the story about when Matthew was filming White Boy Rick in Cleveland, saw the
Walked into the
school, walked into
schools,
the
yeah.
like literally that's a
Amazing.
true story. And we started the program, you know, or it's like I have a friend over here that's doing some really cool stuff. This high school needs, and then boom. So yes, can it be a traditional? There's no like grant that someone could fill out. It's more about partnering. You know what I mean? Like reach out to us if there's a need and where we're to get some funding and a sponsor and a community partner. That's like the happy marriage.
They're like, hey, we want to do it. We've got some people that can get around it. The school's open to it.
Yeah.
Come tell us how
District
to do
has to be on point. You have to have a community partner. The school, there has to be a need, right? Because it's always cool to like bring the new sexy
Yeah.
thing to the campus. But if there's no need there, and what I mean by
mean,
need,
there is
it's
still.
like something that there's like a gap that we don't necessarily have to fill the void,
Yeah.
but have like an opportunity of kids that you know are gonna, you know, utilize that resource.
Yeah.
So if
it.
you got all
Demand.
those,
You need a demand.
yeah, we need a demand.
Thank you for what you do.
You know what I mean?
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
No, it's just the best. Everybody follow Leon, follow Just Keep Living Foundation, and support and partner. We're really thrilled together. I mean, it takes a village.
It
right?
does.
It does.
Takes a
Jen and
village to
Rania
help.
need drip. That's all I got.
Hey!
Oh, there we go.
You heard it, Matthew. They need the drip. They need the drip.
Need drip.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
For everybody else, we'll catch you next time on the Balanced Voice podcast. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to today's Balanced Conversation. You can find real solutions and tangible resources in our show notes at thebalancedvoicepodcast.com. To join the conversation, follow us on Instagram at The Balanced Voice Podcast and on Twitter at @BalancedVoice_. Stay up to date on Rania's work by following her at The Rania Report, and we can't wait to see you next week for another Balanced Conversation.